I'm appalled by what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, here we go. It is KVJ After the Show podcast for Thursday. What's going on, everybody? One day closer to that old weekend. Got some fun stuff going down this weekend. I'm pretty pumped because there's going to be a ton of football going on for the first weekend. So my life's kind of changing. Pretty excited about that.
That is fun.
Yeah, just, being able to look at what's going on Saturday and just seeing pretty much from noon until the rest of the day, there's going to be football on at all times. I'm pretty pumped. There's some really big high school games going on. In fact, if you go to ESPN2, starting at noon, Chaminade Madonna is going to be on. Then after that, St. Thomas Aquinas. So you got a Hollywood school, followed by a Fort Lauderdale school on national TV. And then even American Heritage, they've got one of those national games. I don't think it's going to be broadcast, but they're playing a team from out of state. So some of our best talent in Florida's up against some big old teams. And then I see my Ohio University Bobcats play football Saturday night. And then the Dolphins got a preseason game against the Jaguars at 7:30. So look at that, Virginia. That's a Saturday right there for you.
That is Kevin Joy.
Oh, it's back. It's back. It's just so good to say.
Good. We want you happy.
So pumped. So that's going to be going on. Big weekend.
What's going on with Christian Wilkins?
He's kind of sitting out right now, and it's a little strategy you got to take. He is going into the last year of his deal, and this is a time where if you really value a player, which the Dolphins should, you go on ahead and sign him because you want some assurance that if an injury happens to you, that you will have some income coming in because it's tough.
You're putting it all out there.
Well, a lot of people look at the players and be like, come on, man, play, be a good teammate. It's like, well, the team is not going to feel the same if he goes out and he rips something in his leg and he can't play this sport again. It's not like the Dolphins can be like, oh, man, we feel so bad. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pay you for the next 3 years or whatever. No, it's just he's done making money off football. That's how it works. And right now he's making about $10.5 million for a season. And you're like, boo-hoo. But for what he does in productivity, he should be making $22 to $24 million a year.
And you've run the numbers.
Yes, that is anybody who says the productivity he had, the amount of tackles he had last year, he should be making his market value is $22 to $24 million. And look, I would tell everybody out there, you should get paid what you're worth. Some people are overpaid. Most of us are underpaid. Christian Wilkins is underpaid. His market value is $22 to $24 million, and the Dolphins want him to play at $10.5 million. And you just, do you think that's fair or not?
It's half price.
It is.
Show me anybody who's walking around. Would you take half of the money you make right now to do the same job?
A lot of people probably say no.
I would say no. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. So that's.
I'd go find something new.
Yeah, look, he out of everyone on that team, he more than anybody wants to be out there in drills and playing games and all that. But it is a business and it is a game, and this is how it's done.
And you don't have a lot of years to make this money. I mean,
right.
he beats his body up for football.
Yeah, that's it. So it's a cash grab. You try to make as much money as you can in the shortest amount of time because you just don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. So, you want to do that, be able to lay some money up and then have a future.
And Christian is smart with money, too.
He is.
A little side note that I don't know if a lot of people know. I thought he had a fancy car. He has a Kia.
Yeah.
He drives a Kia. That man could afford the most tricked out, fancy car he wanted. He's got a Kia. So he's smart with money, and he's going to do the right thing with money. He's going to take that NFL money and invest and create generational wealth. I mean, he does it right.
Mm-hmm.
Pay the man.
He's a sensible dude. So, yeah, I trust that they will get it worked out. And this is what's happening right now. There's a lot of deals happening.
He's not the only one?
No. I mean, there's all kinds of wheeling and dealing happening right now. And this is the time of year where that all happens. Where, You got people saying, I'm not going to play. There's one player for the Chiefs saying, I'm not playing till game 8. So it's just, it's the stuff that they do, the negotiating. Jaybird might be up for some negotiations if you missed the regular show.
Are you going to be giving sponge baths to old people?
That wasn't it. I was talking about that haunted doll.
Oh.
Did you hear back from the person?
I have not. I did not see anything come through from the guy Garrett, who yesterday posted up on Nextdoor. Suits has the photo that he can post there on KVJ TV. And this was a doll that I saw, and immediately I'm like, that's a terrifying looking doll. He believes that the doll is possessed. He says that lights will flicker in the room. He's seen the doll sit up, arms will move. There's a ticking noise that comes from it, and all kinds of things in his life has gone bad. And things in that room just seem to go bad. He's afraid to throw it away because of whatever juju that might bring him. So he's hoping somebody will take it off his hands, and whatever this demonic possession is will transfer over to the other person. Now, oddly enough, Jaybird is more than willing to take on that demonic possession.
Well, he doesn't know it's demonic just because something's clicking and making sounds, and it's a big misconception. Ghostly activity does not mean demonic, but some people will think that because they're afraid of the ghost, they're going to think automatic demon.
Yeah, he said also he believes that the beard and hair on that doll is human.
Whoa.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, if you want to make something really creepy, real human hair, and I was telling Jaybird, I'm like, could you imagine like if that was something that sounds like a murder or a horror movie, doesn't it? Where
It
there's
does.
a doll maker and his victims, he uses all their hair to make his dolls.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
And then the spirit of the person is in that doll, but it's a tormented version of the spirit. It's just, I mean, come on.
Are you sure you want this doll?
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome. I love all that stuff. I mean, I did a whole fucking movie about a creepy doll killing people. Pretty much just the same kind of a thing. This is my world. This is where I live at.
Yeah.
I'm mentally there. I want it. I want the fight.
Where is
Right.
Grimsley? I saw him in here the other day.
That's the Grimsley. That's his stunt double.
There he is, back there.
That's the one with all the blood. I had to buy 2. I had to buy them and then make them, and then make one always covered in blood, and then keep one very, very clean.
That sounds cheap.
It was not.
This man is losing a lot of money on films, y'all. He's like the Waterworld of local.
Yeah. Somebody texted in, they said, back a long time ago, they would make dolls in the child's image. They would make the daughter look like the child it was for, and they would even use real human hair. A lot of times, the child's own hair. That's why a lot of these old dolls are haunted, because they have the real human hair and were made in that child's image. So if the child passed away, especially in an inconvenient way, which happened to a lot of kids in that era, the child's spirit would then stick to that doll.
So he's giving it away, or is he making? Is he?
He wants to get rid of, is what he said in the Nextdoor post. Now,
I don't know.
I don't know if he'll get into a bidding war over it.
I'm not buying this. You got to be careful with some of this shit too.
But he put a picture up. I mean, it's real.
No, I know it's real, but
Yeah.
he might be trying to get a story attached to it to
On
get
next
people.
door?
Well, I mean, you can sell shit off next door as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I don't
just
know.
saying
We'll see.
he might be creating something
Okay.
to get the hype to now go, oh, you want that? $1,000.
Yeah. We'll see what
$1,200.
happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens with it. Somebody else texted in, they said, I have my husband's childhood clown doll that I refuse to take out of a plastic bag in the bottom of a bin in my garage. Jaybird, you can have it. I can almost guarantee that the second he comes out of that bag and bin, he is going to go on a murderous rage. The doll's name is Clarence.
Yeah. Clarence has murder in his heart.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. What would you do if you were sleeping and you saw a doll walking towards you with a knife?
Probably slip in my own poop first as
Yeah.
I'm trying to run away.
Would you think, oh, Bird, you really did it to yourself this time?
I went too far.
No, I would go, fuck yes, proof. There's something mystical going on here.
Okay.
Finally, I'm going to try to grab my camera.
You're going to try to get a video before it slashes you?
Since you've known me, I've always tried my best to conjure spirits to prove, to get on record.
Yeah.
And, we've had a couple, I think, small victories. The naysayers would say no, but That's always been the
Well,
goal.
you made a ghost TV show. They thought it was impressive when that demon ripped your blanket off of you in your sleep.
That looked real to me.
Well, it absolutely was real. I didn't do anything to that.
No, we don't have the skill level to create that CGI demon.
We actually do.
I don't.
But I want to be honest. We do have that ability, but I'm just being honest with y'all. That was not at all doctored whatsoever.
We wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's cheap. Well, talking about the unknown and what Jaybird would like to have proof of, Bigfoot does fall into that realm. And we got an email here from Catherine. She said, my parents are in Seattle and they found a shirt. And I want to share it with y'all because my mom can't get over the fact that it looks like Jaybird if he were a Bigfoot.
It kind of does.
It's got funky sunglasses, his Dolphins winter hat, and a guitar. It's like if Jaybird were Bigfoot, that would be him, and it's on a shirt.
You're
Weird.
right.
When did you model for that?
Does that Sasquatch have a small dick too?
That's why he's hiding it. Look at that, huh? It really is. It's pretty amazing. You need to really get that shirt.
That's a great shirt. It
See,
does kind of
find
look
that.
like me.
Yeah. I'll have to put the call out for
It's just missing a pizza shirt.
Yeah, right. If you did put it in that, I'm sure you can make that happen, right? I mean, why not? Other creepy stuff. We were talking yesterday extensively about this girl who was dating a 39-year-old guy when he was 19. He got arrested in a sting operation trying to pick up a 13-year-old girl and spent a year in prison. And she was trying to figure out, do I stay with him or not? And one of the downsides of this, even if he has been completely innocent and clean for the last 20 years, is if you live with this person, he's still going to be on a sex offender registry, correct? It would come up. That's got to be public knowledge. There are websites you can go to. So you might be dealing with some of the shade of what he had. And there was even a current story we were talking about somebody who was on that registry, and it came to light when they were going to run a Pop Warner football league in Riviera Beach. Kate said, I am a probation officer and I supervise sex offenders.
Oh, perfect.
She says it is a state-by-state thing, but depending upon the case, it can be a lifetime registry or usually just 10 years, I guess, depending upon the offense. Now, Fire Marshal Bill, our good friend, just to let you guys know, once you're on the sexual registry list, it is a lifetime list. And the only way to get yourself removed is if you petition the court to remove it. And it's usually a very expensive process. Said the opinion that once you're a sex offender, you're always a sex offender is false, though. I've witnessed that there are some people that make these stupid mistakes and have no desire to recommit. My personal belief is that the system needs to create a tiered registry list that takes into account for reticism and mental evaluations. So I guess that's what it is. So it sounds like for the most part, it can be a lifetime thing.
Can I have Kate's email? I want to email her privately.
Yes, you can. I just threw it away.
Okay, I'll dig in the trash.
So that's what they're saying there.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it really is a slippery slope to get on, some of that stuff. And we talked yesterday about how, especially the Romeo and Juliet laws that try to cover as somebody becomes an adult, but the person they're dating is not quite yet an adult, and how that's the tiered system Fire Marshal Bill is talking about.
It's so different than a predator to me. Like
Exactly.
Romeo and Juliet
Yeah.
and a 40-year-old guy trying to hook up with a 13-year-old girl. They're so different.
Well, and then you also would have the he said, she said cases, too. That's going to be a factor. You could have a younger person accusing someone much older of having touched them or done something inappropriate, and then you've got to sort all that stuff out, and those kind of things happen all the time.
It's messy.
Yeah, it really is. There's kind of a story that's going on right now, bringing it back to the Dolphins. One of their big players, cornerback Xavier Howard, is dealing with a lawsuit right now that alleges that he filmed himself having sex with this woman and then shared the videos with other people. The plaintiffs is saying that she had dated Howard during the first half of the 2022 season and engaged in sexual relations with him. the sex was consensual, but she says filming it was another story.
Yeah, that's fucked up. You can't do that shit.
And then sharing it? Ugh.
Even more fucked up.
So far.
Well, even if you film it and she knows it's being filmed, and then you share it without her consent, you're still a fuckface, in my opinion.
Xavier Howard is saying that the woman accusing him of filming and distributing had tried to shake him down prior to filing a lawsuit against him. So he's saying that it's lies and it's nothing but a shakedown. So that
and I'm only going on if what really happened.
Yeah.
You know, if someone films you, especially without your consent, but even with your consent, and then they start sharing that stuff without your consent,
right.
You are a fuckface.
Mm-hmm. Not cool. So we'll see what goes down with that. This person says, speaking of not cool, is Virginia aware of what happened today with What Did I Lick? She said, did she happen to see this as she was outside of the studio?
She didn't. I don't think
What
she
is it?
It's me putting it up my nose and in my ear. The thing that you licked.
I'm not surprised that you're acting like a douche.
I mean, it's
It's on brand.
Okay.
yeah. You always get nervous that it's not extreme enough, and then you go too far. Oh, you're a fucking animal. I don't know.
Put it up your ass. I don't care.
There's a fine line between being a pussy and a fuckface.
There really is. The only thing I'd say to the audience, we all kind of signed up for this gig, so
Yeah.
we know the bit. We know it's fucked up.
Welcome to the jungle.
I mean, if we're going to start playing that game, then fuck y'all, too, because y'all done some shit to me. We're like, holy shit, you did. I like the dead lizard. Get
The
fuck
dead
outta here.
lizard was pretty bad.
Yeah.
He was so decayed and horrible.
We've all
Whenever
had
we've
our-
licked, we can just do a little fireball, which is what I did.
We've all had our day in the shitty sun here on this program.
I'm surprised you didn't put it in your ass. I know you like ass play.
That would have been too far.
For the regular
No,
show.
That goes from crazy to fuckface. There's that fine line Kevin's talking about.
If we ever did a podcast, do it, bitch. Or the podcast, What Did I Lick? Like, it could be a whole different game because we could really up it.
I would never shove something in my ass and make you guys like. I would legit feel guilty about that. I mean, that's.
It feels like that would go more in the fuckface category.
That's definitely in the fuckface. That's not even fun at that point.
Right.
That's that weird 90s
Yeah, then people are like, all right.
frat hazing shit they would do. That none of us agree with.
Pedro sent an email. He said, I was watching after the show yesterday where Jaybird bounced the pen off the desk and into his eye. And it's kind of funny because he said, it was Christy actually sent this in. It says, I was watching after hearing all the laughter. I'm dying in my car, but I had to go back to see it and how funny it was. And what I loved about it is one thing you didn't even bring up, how funny it was that after what happened and without skipping a beat, Denny's offers up his pen to Jaybird. Ha ha ha! Classic Bird and Denny's. he was more upset. Oh, here, Bird, you can have my pen because your pen goes careening off your eyeball somewhere into a different part of the studio. And Denny's didn't want you to be without a pen.
Aww.
We're quite the duo, me and that cat.
What a caring little soul he is, huh?
He is a sweet pea.
Oh, just the sweetest, huh? It's very nice. One thing that we had mentioned yesterday, we were playing the new Frasier theme, which is actually just the old Frasier theme, but redone.
It's a little more growly.
Yeah, it is. The guy who sang it's a little bit older and a little bit more
I don't
gravelly
hate
now.
it. I like the gravel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had to drop down into the key of gravel.
It sounds
Growl.
good.
But that was a show that was out, the 90s? Is that when it came out? Mid-90s, late 90s, somewhere around there? When it
feels
got its
right.
first run? I
Yeah.
think, because he was on, the character Frasier Crane came from Cheers. That was late 80s into the early 90s.
Yeah,
and then when
93 to 2004.
Okay. Yeah, all right. That feels right. So, here it is a while, and then we're listening to the words in the theme. Toss salads and scrambled eggs. And immediately when we heard that lyric now, we're like, toss salads. So you're like, it's just,
It's the same
it
thing.
hits different now.
It's the same thing that Virginia does. I forget. I don't want to say the commercial, but I hear her advertising for something, and she'll say the word facial. And nowadays, when I hear the word
It's just-
facial, you're like,
yeah,
oh.
these were common terms. I never thought about the toss salad line until we played it again, and it's I'm like, ugh, tossed salad. I'm like, what are they singing about in this Frasier theme?
Cream pie. It means a little different these days.
Yeah,
Back in the day, cream pie was a delicious snack.
There's a whole bunch of words that used to be benign, but now the over-sexualized world has taken them and made them their own. You can't say tossed salad, cream pie, load without thinking of something sexual and perverse.
Hey, Kev,
Facial.
do me a favor, Kev. Come over here.
Even that
Where
word,
you coming
yeah.
in?
I'm coming over there because I got to get a facial.
Yeah.
Look at cream
Oh,
pie Ralston over
I had a
here.
great facial yesterday. It was lovely.
See?
Or
And it was raining out, and she was all wet.
yeah. Well, think even about the word oral. Now, when you think oral, it's somebody that's giving or getting head. And I looked at my toothbrush today. Oral B.
Yep. Oral butt.
That's oral in your butt.
Yeah.
It does. It sounds like I
You're
need to
licking
take
butt.
this device and jam it in my asshole.
That's tossing your salad.
It's tossing your salad and scrambled eggs. Yeah.
Scrambled eggs just means they shake your nuts a couple times.
Right. You're like, it just, I mean, some of these words now, you're just like, oh my God.
You're right.
It is interesting. And I guess it's always happened for a while because remember we were talking about pussy and somebody sent us the, was it the Mother Goose rhyme? And
Yeah.
it was the girl and she had one of those, it looked like it was.
Talking about her cat.
Yeah,
Her
it was
pet.
like, it was probably, the girl was in one of those gowns and the little nightcaps that they wore probably in the mid to late 1800s. And it was talking about her pussy and everything else. But yeah, she's holding a little kitty and it was like, yeah, and she puts it between her legs. It's like, wait, what? And like, how'd they not know? But I guess pussy didn't really mean pussy.
They knew.
You think they knew?
Oh, yeah,
They're
they
just
knew.
making
Come
it all
on.
perverse.
I mean, think about it. Back in the day, it looks. That's why it's called a pussy.
The guy singing the Frasier song now knows what tossed salad means.
Yeah.
That gravelly guy,
I'm
he's,
sure you've had
he's
so
chuckling.
many. Yeah, I've heard she had so many people come up and be, tossed salad, right?
Even the word toys sometimes can be.
Sure, yeah.
You go. If Virginia starts talking, I went and bought some toys. Now you're talking about Rocco, but if you have a perverted mind, go, damn, she's buying vibrators.
Yeah. Well, it's happened where you try to clean it up, for younger ears or just not to be so perverse. And then after a while, you've used that clean, sanitary word so often to refer to something filthy that it makes sense. It naturally takes over the thought process.
I was losing, but I came from behind.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there.
When you watch sports, man, there's just so much. I mean, tight ends, wide receivers. He crammed it down the middle. I mean, there's just the whole time. Like, wait, what did he say? What's going on? What did he do? Yeah. It's just nonstop the whole time.
Tossing your salad, cream pie.
Yeah.
Shaking your eggs.
You put it in a blues song, and for some reason, it sounds dirtier now.
Especially
does.
going
Yeah.
back to like that growl.
If you got this kind of blues, my pussy.
Yeah. Hey, what does scrambled eggs means? That's got to be something dirty too.
It sounds like somebody's shaking your nuts.
What
Or-
does scrambling your eggs mean?
I mean, never mind. That's gonna be too graphic.
Show me on Suits.
It was gonna be more of the vulgarity of the words I was gonna be using.
Decided not to.
Yeah.
Backing away from
Even
that.
for the podcast, it just would have made everyone,
Just too
it would have
much.
made everyone feel weird.
Yeah.
I love it.
I thought this was kind of amusing here today. There's a story about Matthew McConaughey's wife. She did an
Camila?
interview. Yeah, Camila. And she was like, I just don't get why everybody has this image of my husband being this laid-back, shirtless pothead.
What?
She's like, the guy doesn't even smoke. So where is this imagery come from of Matthew McConaughey? To me, a big part of it still sticks into the Butt Bongo story, which he had to be high as a kite when he and Woody Harrelson, back in the day,
That was 20-something years ago.
got a call from the cops and they were both naked playing the bongos.
Yeah, they were stone cold sober.
Oh,
for
yeah.
that.
Because
Me and-
Woody never smokes.
Me and Denny's do that all the time. We just fucking play on our little drums,
Sober.
naked as fuck without any weed.
And he's good friends with Woody Harrelson, who is known to smoke a lot.
She
And-
might want to just not talk.
Well, here's the thing. I'm just wondering. I'm like, okay, maybe she's dead on. Maybe Matthew McConaughey doesn't smoke weed and hasn't for 20 plus years.
And that might be true
It
because
might be
McConaughey really did get serious actor. I think probably back in the day when he did get busted with Woody Harrelson, they're toking it up. But yeah, I think some people grow out of it and they don't go back to that world.
But I'm wondering, is it possible, do we have people out there who smoke weed and their spouse doesn't know?
Yes.
And would defend it. If, like Camilla would do with her husband, Matthew McConaughey, would be like, no, my husband or wife does not smoke weed. That's ridiculous.
They have kids too. And in fact, one of them just joined social media. He's like 16, 17, something like that. So she might be saying that because she's trying to make her son not want to go down the path his dad went down, which was smoke a lot of pot and have a whole character based on pot smoking.
But you're right, though. This does happen. I knew somebody. This guy was such an awesome guy. They were together for the longest time. He worked hard. I've seen him enough to know he's just a good guy. And she was kind of annoying.
Okay.
And she drank. They drank. He was not allowed to smoke weed, so he'd have to smoke weed and then go run for 5 miles. He was a runner, too, but he'd have to hide it just because she was against it.
What a life.
It
what
really,
a terrible way to live.
he was such a good guy, but he had to hide like a criminal because his girlfriend
F that.
thought weed was only terrible people. But meanwhile, she's getting fucking hammered.
Was it his wife or his girlfriend?
They were girlfriend. They got married, and then they're not together anymore. But, I mean, it was a long, long battle. And he'd have to lie and hide his weed.
That's no way to live.
And he was a good dude.
That's no way to live.
Well, you know, people were talking about with the Matthew McConaughey image of being a stoner and his wife not liking it. Be like, I don't get it. The guy doesn't even smoke weed.
She's dumb if she doesn't get it.
Well, people are saying his first real big role, he was a stoner.
All right, all right.
Nurse Schmidt said, yeah, he was so high when he got arrested in his own home being naked. He says he was in his own book. He's even confessed to it in his own book. His good buddy Woody Harrelson has his own weed farm. You know, there's a lot of things that kind of add up. She's like, she doesn't get how he has this image. He talked, all right. He still talks.
She's blinded by trying to parent her teenage son.
He still talks like this, like he's high about every time he
does.
speaks.
He's got high delivery.
Well, the only more, I mean, it sounds like you're talking about the Epstein thing, and this reason, and you gave like 9 examples of McConaughey and weed, kind of like the Epstein thing. He did this, he did that, he did. We think he got murdered. We think McConaughey smokes weed. There's too many fucking red flags there.
It's so funny when you see them. They're like, well, I don't get where he would get this image.
That's her doing.
Is she kidding? Is she trolling us?
She's doing that celebrity
I read the
thing.
rest of the comments in the interview, and it didn't sound like it was like wink, wink, nod, nod. I mean, you got to see her body language. I didn't hear the words coming out of her mouth. I only read the text, and I was wondering. I'm like, is she like putting this on and be like, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
I mean, who gives a fuck anyway?
Who gives a
Nobody
fuck
does.
anyway? Nobody cares about that except for your kid.
To me, the only angle that was funny, does she sincerely believe it? And then I just thought, how many other spouses are in complete denial or have no idea that their partner is a massive stoner?
Well, if you are a person that does have to hide it, you love the modern day weed world. Because if this was 10, 15 years ago, you have to go hide, and then you have to spray down. You're worried about the smell. Now with oils, you don't fucking know if anyone's smoking or not.
Yeah, right.
You just don't.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, it's so easy to do something now.
Unless you're the kind of person that hits the pen and then you're a completely different person. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious.
Right.
But if you're able to hit the pen and go along with your day, no one would know.
We went to a store on Clematis Street, new place. It's kind of down by the fountain, and it's a weed place. But I didn't fully get it. They say you don't need your medical card. All the stuff is legal, but I think it's like off-brand weed. It's not necessarily weed. They've gone through all the loopholes you can to sell stuff, and apparently has the exact same effect of weed.
Are you sure? The exact same effect. You could take that stuff and get sick.
This is sounding like some bullshit. You get weed from the weed people, and that's the weed
You get the best weed you can afford.
Yeah, because my wife, for whatever reason, has a big hang-up about paying for that card and whatever. But
Why?
Is it Delta 8?
I don't know. She is. I never can explain her.
Is it Delta 8?
But No, I don't think it's Delta 8. It was stuff they said. The one thing the guy had said was, I think he'd said it was actual hemp, and that isn't regulated, but the marijuana is. And he said, this is bud, man. And I was
Just
like,
remember,
what?
he's a salesman.
I know.
And a lot of those guys are full of shit.
Motherfucker trying to sell you the O'Douls of weed.
You ain't gonna sell Kevin no O'Douls.
He trying to give you O'Douls weed.
Yeah, I wasn't. For me, I was like, eh.
No.
But, I mean, my
Just
wife
get
was
the
drinking
card.
it in.
I don't know why you wouldn't get the card. You would never have to worry about any kind of legal problem. It's not as much as the Queen saying that it is. It's really not. You guys go to bars, so it's
Yeah. Yeah.
It's way less than 2 bar tabs.
you're gonna get better deals.
Yeah.
But
We'll see. Yeah. So one of these days, maybe we'll get there. Amber's like, Kev, you got your own salary. She got a tattoo. You can't get a weed card.
I mean,
I could.
That's got a good point.
Yeah, I could. I just, it's not a high enough priority right now. So I'm putting my money to things I think are a little bit better of an investment.
Should we go fund me?
Can I just buy your fucking weed card for a present?
Jaybird has said he will
No.
buy it for you for Christmas.
I don't even know where I am with it because, to me, I think I need a little bit of time where I know there's so many products out there. It sounds like you need to really take some time, experiment, find what works
You
for you.
got the Miyagi 1 and 2.
What you want to say. Oh, I know. One of these days when I'm not so preoccupied with other things in my life.
So when we get fired next time?
I just
Yeah,
think
honestly, that would be a great time. First thing I'll do would be like, you know what, dudes? I got 3 months to sit on my ass.
I mean,
Let's go get that card.
You're
Let's go
acting
get
like
that
you're-
card and let's get this thing figured out.
you act like you're trying to do little different tastes of acid. It's weed. You'll be able to figure it out pretty quick at the dispensary. You got 1 or 2 different kinds. You smoke some, and if it doesn't, you'll be all right.
Okay. Yeah, one of these days I'll invest in that world.
Jaybird would take delight in walking
It'd be
you
fun.
through the
Well,
process
it'd be
and
fun.
guiding you like a Miyagi.
Only
Yeah.
if you wanted to. I don't want to. I
No.
never want to force anything down.
The biggest thing right now is just time, and that's it. I don't have the time to invest to it at this moment, but when I do, I'll be there, baby.
I wish I could grow my own weed.
Yeah, one of these days, hopefully you'll be able to.
Tell me, weed bud plants
mean-
in my dinosaur garden would not be.
It would fit.
It kinda
Technically, you
belongs there.
can, but I mean,
People
will rat you
You
out.
think I got sleep problems now? Every time I heard a helicopter, a bird, a knock, anything.
Saw a drone.
Oh, they're fucking here. Here's
He's in the
fence.
yard pulling out plants.
It was,
Yeah.
paranoid Pennington. I'll smoke it, maybe not grow it.
Yeah. Well, if you're more of a drinker, there is a new product. Eggo has a new liqueur called Eggo Brunch in a Jar, Sippin' Cream. Does that sound good to you? It is a seamlessly blended jar with the flavors of toasted Eggo waffles, sweet maple syrup, and rich butter with a hint of smoky bacon, and it's 40 proof.
Ooh, that. Oh, it's yeah, boy.
It sounds like a bunch of artificial chemicals and BS.
She's right.
It sounds like it's right up your alley, though. It's
don't
a
know.
Just
cream
go to
liqueur.
brunch. Just go to a boozy brunch and drink whatever you want to drink.
She's right. The peanut butter whiskey thing's been a big thing with the peanut butter whiskey. Not all of them are created equal.
That is true.
And she's right about the chemicals. There's some of that shit that it don't taste right, it don't feel right. Just give me whiskey. Straight up whiskey, and then I'll just eat a big old spoonful of peanut butter.
Okay. That's more your play, huh?
I just think some of those flavored whiskeys or flavored alcohols, if it's not done right, it tastes cheap as fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, what's in brunch in a jar? I'm looking on their website. I don't see the ingredients listed out.
It sounds heavy.
I would just like to read that first. I mean, I do drink some crap, though. I know. I like that rum chata. I'm sure that's crap. I've drank the Godiva chocolate liqueur. I'm sure that's crap. Kahlua seems pretty pure, and then all your clears are pretty pure.
I'm
but
not sure peanut butter whiskey gives you the best breath either. It kind of dances around a
does,
little bit.
okay.
She sticks around the house when you want her to leave, and
the one with the ram on the bottle is the best.
it's got a fucking ram on it, of course.
Everything with a ram is awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
you want the spirit of a ram when you're drinking.
Wham bam, thank you, ram.
That's right.
Well, today is National Waffle Day. Of course, Waffle House has a deal for you. You can get a free one-topping waffle for National Waffle Day if you go to the old Waffle House and check out. So that's one of the places it's
I
offering.
love Waffle House. If I had to pick Waffle House, IHOP, or Denny's, I always pick Waffle House.
I could easily spend $50 right now at Waffle House, and that's just
By
on
yourself.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Right. Post is offering a deal on their Pebbles waffles. All you have to do is save your receipt from the purchase of Pebbles waffles and turn in for a rebate at getfreewaffles.com. I didn't
Sounds
know
like-
they had Pebbles waffles.
Sounds like a lot of work for
I know, it really is. Some of
mail
these
shit
places
in.
got to realize.
If I have to mail in for the
got time
rebate,
for
I'm
this.
not going to remember.
At that point, I go, can I just fucking buy $50 worth of waffles?
Right. We got to tell you, they do, man. Some of these deals is like, yeah, okay.
I think those deals are fun, but you talk about the kind, it's one taco, but you have to do this and that, and then jump through maybe make it to like a meal, like 3 tacos. That's got some balls to it.
Yeah,
3
up the
waffles.
value.
Up the value. And I know it's everyone's pinching a penny right now, but with that said, you got to do those kind of fun promotions to get the people in there.
Up my value, toss my salad.
Up the value, toss my salad. It's going to end in a facial.
Today is also National Burger Day.
Ooh, that's good too.
Today.
Okay. You got 2 big, heavy hitters on the same day. I think it's stupid. Waffle and burger?
They need to coordinate unless you do, like you said earlier, you do a waffle burger. Put them together.
A waffle bun is next
A waffle
level.
bun is special.
If you don't care about your health, yep.
Like a chicken and waffle too would work as a fried piece of chicken in between the waffles, drizzled with a hot honey. Oh, that's a sandwich too.
Tell me if you like a waffle pizza crust.
I'd try it. Oh, for your Nutella pizza?
I'm saying for marinara.
Really?
Get the waffle, get the marinara on there.
It might just be too sweet and then tangy for me.
Okay. Yeah.
To quest a palate.
I know, right?
Not fancy enough. Oh, and then there's a seahorse ovary on there to add the fancy.
I don't eat seahorse.
Okay.
Does anybody eat? There are people that eat seahorse. It's like an Asian street food. I've seen it.
Why is eating a seahorse feel so wrong to me?
I don't
They
know.
look so
It does.
cute.
They're
feel
so cute. They're adorable.
As a little kid, that was what you wanted to. They'd take you to the beach for a field trip, and one of the things you wanted to get was a seahorse. And one kid got a seahorse in 5 years.
Wow.
One fucking seahorse.
Really, that was it.
And it was a big deal. He was the coolest kid at school.
I bet, right?
Great story, Bird.
Giddy up.
Want to remind people to go vote as well for our best diner in South Florida. Peter Pan Diner in Oakland Park was named the best diner in all of America by Reader's Digest.
I think they're just trying to make us mad by doing that.
I just don't think Reader's Digest has done anything good since 1977.
Thank you.
I thought they were dead. I
Yeah.
thought Reader's Digest was over.
That was something that my grandpa read on the shitter.
It's a
It had that big
Honestly, when I hear
font.
Reader's Digest, I think Grandpa shitter.
Reader's Digest was such a big part of our childhood.
It was, and part of our shitters. It was always there, and I always remember. Even then, as a kid, I'm like, "Oh gosh, that's kind of gross, man." He thumbs through that every time he's just taking a dump.
The concept of books in the bathroom is
Disgusting.
I don't think it's the right move.
disgusting.
Well, think about it. You go over to your friend's house, they got all these books in the bathroom. You're right. Those are shit books.
Yes.
You should put Reader's Digest by your toilet as much as you're into nostalgia.
But they're all from the 80s.
Yes.
Because I can order them.
Oh,
Yeah.
you totally could. They all have to be old AF with so much shit on them from all the people that shit and held them.
But I was raised in a house where my mom, she'd call it the deep clean day. She'd make sure everything was clean, and she would put books in the bathroom. And as a little kid, you go, it's kind of gross, Mom. I was taking big old dumps
Some
in
books
there.
are more gross than others, and just a paperback Reader's Digest.
It's so porous.
Every page is gross. And I think if I had those now and took a whiff, it'd probably still smell like my grandpa's shit.
Oh,
I think we got to put a vase or like one of those relaxing rocks or something.
Potpourri.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
The days of putting magazines and books in the bathroom
Should be over.
need to end.
Yeah.
Hopefully now everybody just shits with their smartphone.
I got him in my guest bath. I'm taking him out today. I thought it was the right thing to do.
We've all learned something here today. Take out your porous periodicals from the restroom. They're all covered in shit particles.
Someone said too, if you got a guest bathroom, don't put any kind of your toiletries in there. Take your deodorant, your toothbrush,
I get
everything
that, yeah.
in the one designated bathroom that's not going to be ever tainted.
Right.
And use that one bathroom just for what you got to do.
Gotcha. That's smart. I can
There's
see
a
that.
shit zone.
Well, I think Kevin's brought in the articles about the particles.
Yeah, when you flush the toilet, kaboom. That's why they say don't keep your toothbrush.
And you're letting people in your bathroom, and I don't know.
Oh.
Well, for an old-ass magazine, they chose the old-ass diner that opened in 1979. A lot of people did not think that Peter Pan Diner in Oakland Park was the best, even in South Florida. So you can vote on it. A lot of people thought Howley's Diner in West Palm Beach was it. I expect that'll probably win. Nick's 50s Diner in West Palm also got a nod, as well as City Diner and Dixie in West Palm. Lester's Diner in Fort Lauderdale and Sunrise, the Floridian on Los Olas in Lauderdale, Moonlight Diner, Jay Bird mentioned in Hollywood, and then Jack's Hollywood Diner as well.
There's one in Davie too.
Okay.
That was good but creepy.
Okay.
You felt
Would it make the list of good, or if we want to do the creepiest diner?
the food was good, but you felt uneasy while you were eating it.
Just like your comment. I'm going to recommend a shitty diner.
I think the food's good. I think the atmosphere was awful.
Okay. We'll have the results of the list tomorrow. You can go to kvjshow.com and sound off on that. Got a big old weekend coming at you tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are here. We'll see you then. Goodbye.